Transmite en su canal de frecuencia modulada e estereofónica multiplex La Voz Radio, desde New Haven, Connecticut, al mundo.
Muy buenas tardes, esta es Norma Rodríguez-Reyes y ustedes están escuchando al show K-PASA a través de WNHH 103.5 FMLP, La Voz Hispana Radio desde Downtown New Haven, y estamos streaming live a través de Facebook, YouTube y Twitter. Y tengo hoy en mi oficina o en pantalla en realidad a Dita Bhagava. Y Dita Bhagava quiere ser su próxima tesorera del Estado de Connecticut. Good afternoon. You're listening to WNHH 103.5 FM, streaming live from downtown New Haven, and you can also listen and see us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Norma Rodríguez-Reyes, your host in K-PASA. And today we have with us someone who wants to be the next treasurer of the state of Connecticut, Dita Bhagava. As many of you know, August 9th, 2022 of this year, from 6 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, you will have the opportunity to vote in the primaries for either Republicans or Democrats. In Connecticut, you must be registered with the party in order to vote and in that particular party. So all of the registered Democrats will have an opportunity to vote for whatever Democratic candidate you want, and also the Republicans will have an opportunity to vote for whatever Republican candidates are out there running for the various positions. So today we have Dita Bhagava, okay, and she wants to be your next treasurer. These are volatile times that require significant and complex investment decisions. Now more than ever, Connecticut needs a treasurer who has the background and experience necessary to run the office and maximize its impact. We need a treasurer who understands finances, understands the social governance impact that the office has, that office can have on corporate America, and will represent the highest standards of public service. She spent 25 years working in finance on Wall Street, and the past 10 years working to help hold corporate America to a high standard on issues that impact Connecticut residents in their everyday lives. Dita Bhagava is Chief Operating Officer for Catalan Investments in Stamford, and Dita has over 20 years of experience in the financial sector. Dita is an active leader in civic engagement and philanthropic efforts, and Dita lives in Greenwich, Connecticut, with her husband and 2 children. Dita, thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon, okay? But now I got to tell everyone, all of my people in Spanish, what I just said in English. Bueno, Dita Bhagava, okay, ella está corriendo, postulándose para la posición de tesorera del Estado de Connecticut por el Partido Demócrata. Y ahora más que nunca, Connecticut necesita una tesorera que tenga los antecedentes y la experiencia necesaria para dirigir la oficina y maximizar su impacto. Necesitamos una tesorera que comprenda las finanzas, que comprenda el impacto de gobierno social y ese cargo puede tener en las empresas estadounidenses y que representan los más altos estándares de servicio público. Por 25 años, Dita ha trabajado en finanzas en Wall Street y los últimos 10 años trabajando para ayudar a mantener a las empresas estadounidenses a un nivel más alto en temas que afectan a los residentes de Connecticut. Dita es la directora de operaciones de Catalan los Investimentos en Stamford, Connecticut. Dita cuenta con más de 20 años de experiencia en el sector financiero. Ella es una líder activa en compromiso cívico y en los esfuerzos filántropos. Dita vive en Greenwich, Connecticut con su esposo y sus 2 hijas. Gracias tanto, Dita, por estar hoy con nosotros. Thank you so much for being here with us. So tell us, Dita, why is it that you're interested in this position of treasurer for the state of Connecticut?
Hola Norma, buenos dias. Thank you so much for having me on your show, and I salute all of your listeners today. Thank you for listening in. So yes, Norma, I am very passionate about the state treasurer position. You may know that, and remember that I ran 4 years ago. So I've been thinking about this job for a long time, and look, I have a strong desire to give back to my communities across the state. And that was really born out of the way that I was raised. And my mom was a single immigrant parent. She really was challenged to provide my sisters and I with basic necessities. But she's a strong woman. And to this day, she reminds us, 3 things: work hard, dream big, and never forget our humble roots. So I feel very fortunate that I accessed good education, that I had healthcare, and that
Dita,
allowed me. Mm-hmm.
You don't expect me to remember all this, do you?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
My mom was a single parent. She taught me to give back to my communities. You can say that.
All right. Bueno, Dira dice que ella es 4 años atrás, ella corrió para tesorera del estado de Connecticut. Así que esta es la segunda vez que ella está corriendo nuevamente. Y ella tiene un fuerte deseo, ¿ok?, para darle para atrás a la comunidad. Y ella piensa que esta sería una excelente manera de hacerlo. Ella mismita es una inmigrante, ¿ok? Ella vino aquí, ella nació en Canadá, entonces vino aquí en el 1993, si no me equivoco. Entonces, ella cree en trabajar fuerte, soñar grande y nunca olvidar de a dónde viniste. I was able to tell about dream big. Work hard, dream big, and don't forget your beginnings.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. See. And so to me, the perfect place that I can make a difference for Connecticut is through the treasurer's position, because I have 25 years in managing investments. And it is so important, especially right now when people are having trouble affording gas, affording food, affording their rent, that we have somebody in there managing our state's finances as best as possible to give more resources to our communities.
Okay. Ella piensa que este es la perfecta posición para ella. Primero porque ella tiene 25 años manejando inversiones. Y especialmente con lo que está sucediendo con la gasolina, la comida, las rentas, ¿ok? Entonces es importante uno poder saber cómo manejar los recursos del Estado, ¿ok? Dita, can you explain a little bit of what exactly, when you bring it down to a very elementary level, when you talk about investing monies? Because a lot of our people are not literate when it comes to financial management. ¿Tú nos puedes dejar saber, por favor, en una manera muy elemental, exactamente qué quiere decir invertir, inversiones? Porque mucha de nuestra gente no tienen educación financiera.
Yes, thank you. Very important question. The treasurer manages the state's pension assets. So our state workers, our government state workers, and our teachers are promised a pension when they retire. And the state must manage those pensions so that when they retire, we can keep those promises. But if we are not investing those investments properly and growing those investments as best as we can, that means the state has to take money from elsewhere, from schools, from our communities, from our roads, from social service, and put it towards those pension promises. So we need the right person in there to grow those pensions so the government money can be used elsewhere.
Ok, perfecto. Pues mira, lo que quiere decir es, en la posición de ella, a todas las personas se les saca dinero de su cheque y eso entonces lo ponen para cuando se retiren que tengan una pensión. So, en realidad, lo que la oficina de tesorero hace es invertir ese dinero de las pensiones de maestros y de los empleados del Estado. Y entonces invierten ese dinero y tienen que asegurarse de saber invertir ese dinero apropiadamente para que ese dinero crezca, porque si ese dinero no crece, entonces lo que viene pasando es que se tiene que utilizar los recursos de las escuelas, de las calles, de los servicios sociales, ¿ok? Entonces, tenemos que asegurarnos que esas inversiones están bien hechas para entonces mantener que nuestras pensiones estén seguros y no se tenga que utilizar dinero de otros lugares que es muy necesario. Thank you. I never, I didn't know that myself. So,
and I'll add, Norma, really, because this is important. One of the things that the treasurer does is manages a financial literacy program. It's very important that our young and our old seniors and everybody in between, that we educate them on finances about the state, but also their own finances, how to open up a bank account, how to save, how to pay taxes, how to put money aside for their children to go to university. I will be a huge advocate to make sure we're doing everything to educate our community about financial literacy.
Ok. Entonces, una de las cosas que hace esa oficina es literal, financieramente, el saber financieramente cómo dominar, ¿ok? Cómo abrir una cuenta de banco, cómo ahorrar dinero, cómo pagar impuestos y cómo poner dinero para cuando su hijo vaya para la universidad. So, es muy importante saber cómo dilea y cómo es que funciona el dinero. Thank you, Dita. Thank you so much. The other day, I went to Make a Home Furnishings Foundation, Make a Home Foundation, and there I came across a 1965 game on stocks and bonds. 65, how many years are we talking about? 50 years ago?
A long time ago, yes. 50,
They need to have something like that. I remember when I was in elementary school, Walsh School, the banks came, they opened up a savings account for us, and they would come in, I think, once a month, and everybody would put in their quarter. 25 cents. And that taught us how to save. They don't do that anymore. They're not doing these things anymore. And that's why our kids, don't know how to save.
Yes.
Yo le estaba diciendo a ella que yo me recuerdo cuando yo fui no hace mucho a un sitio que se llama Build a Home Foundation, crear una fundación un hogar. Y ahí yo encontré un juego del 1965, ¿ok? De bonos y de bienes, ¿ok? Stocks and bonds. Y en ese tiempo la gente aprendía cómo lidiar con dinero, cómo intercambiar. Y también cuando yo estaba en la escuela alimentar, nos abrieron una cuenta de ahorro y una vez al mes venían a la escuela y todo el mundo daba sus 25 centavos y así se nos enseñó a nosotros a ahorrar. Eso es algo que hoy en día definitivamente no lo están enseñando. Yo me alegro mucho que la Dita Bhagava, que la que está corriendo para tesorera, que ella dice que ella va a hacer eso una de sus prioridades. I'm happy to learn that, financial literacy is definitely something that you are definitely priority under your administration.
Yes.
Okay, so
very important.
yes. So how do you connect the treasurer's office with your progressive feminist position?
Great question, Norma.
¿Cómo
I saw
tú conectas,
Yeah.
la oficina de tesorero con tus posiciones feministas progresivas?
I see the pictures you're putting up, and I don't see yet the picture of my first ad, which, Norma, you may have seen, but it's a pro women protecting women's rights to choose ad, where I had many women line up to participate with bare shoulders to show that the Supreme Court justice stripped away 50 years of rights over our own bodies. Okay. So people ask me, what does that have to do with the treasurer's position? So here's the brilliant thing, Norma. It has a lot to do with the treasurer's position.
Okay, 1 minute. Wait. I got it. Because this is important, so I need to make sure I translate it correctly. Bueno, Cotrina, una de las cosas que yo no veo, en la que tú estás poniendo allá arriba, son el derecho de las mujeres escoger, en la cual tienen los hombros de las mujeres desnudas, dejándoles saber que el gobierno no ha quitado, 50 años de derecho que teníamos,
So because the treasurer invests in big corporations, the treasurer has the ability to ask those corporations to protect their employees by offering them reproductive health care as part of their health care insurance.
Okay.
And we cannot make that ask. So we're very powerful in the Treasury to be able to do that. And just quickly, because companies that help their employees are stronger and better investments for us.
Ok, por la razón que la tesorera invierte en grandes compañías, entonces ellos le van a pedir a estas compañías que protejan el derecho y que provean de seguros, para proteger el derecho de la mujer a escoger. Entonces, las compañías pueden ayudar a los empleados proveyendo este tipo de seguro. Thank you. All right. So now, that being said, the next question that I have for you, how does the Latino community benefit from you being treasurer?
Good question. So look,
¿Cómo es que la compañía, cómo es que la comunidad hispana se beneficia con ella siendo tesorera del Estado? Buena pregunta.
One of the things I'd like to talk about is inflation. Inflation means higher prices we are seeing, like we said before, in gas, in food, in rent, in mortgages. And so as a treasurer and constitutional officer, I'm going to propose many ways that we can help our communities that need it the most, because the people who have less money are suffering the most. And I can list all sort of the things that I am going to propose. So I'll give you a quick minute and then I'll list those things.
Okay. Entonces, como muchos de ustedes saben, la inflación está altísima. Eso quiere decir que el gas, la comida, la renta, lo que pagan por las casas, todo eso está subiendo. Y eso afecta bastante a la persona, a la persona que necesita más. Entonces, ahora le voy a decir cómo es que esa oficina puede ayudar.
So we can do relief, gas tax relief, sales tax relief, property like car tax relief, reduced fares on public transport based on income level, making sure that we have an eviction moratorium so people can stay in their homes longer if they can't pay the rent, increase the income tax credit, and expand child tax credit. And then also support local nonprofits that help alleviate food and housing insecurity.
Ok. Ella dice que debe de proveer a subsidio, ¿ok? Así sea en la gasolina, en los impuestos de venta, en el auto, incrementar la educación pública, bajar los precios, poner un moratorio en desalojamiento, bajar el income tax, proveer más hacia el child tax credit, hacia el crédito de los niños, a apoyar a agencias sin fines de lucro que proveen comida y diferentes servicios. Now, when you talk about relief, like where would this money be coming from so that this relief can be provided? Cuando tú estás hablando de subsidiar, ¿de dónde es que viene este dinero para que así las personas puedan tomar ventaja de esto?
So this would be really from the budget, our state budget. And thankfully, Norma, over the last few years, we have had a surplus in our budget. So we have some room to be able to use some of those monies that is extra in our budget towards fighting the impact that inflation is having on our communities, especially communities that are underserved.
Okay. So, entonces, el dinero ese vendría del dinero del Estado, ¿ok? Porque en estos momentos el Estado se encuentra con un surplus, más dinero de lo que en realidad tiene alocado, tiene mucho más dinero de lo que ellos esperaban. Entonces, hay manera en la cual pueden utilizar ese dinero para pelear el impacto que la inflación tiene en nuestras comunidades. Thank you so much for that question.
And
Now,
I'll also say, Norma, on inflation, it has an impact on our pensions as well, because the pensions have been heavily invested in the stock market. And as you know, the stock market is not doing well this year. So that means that our pensions are not doing well this year. And that means if we don't find ways to diversify that pension during inflation, and we don't have the right person in there who understands how to do that, then we won't have the money for all these relief items that I've suggested.
Okay. La inflación ha impactado a las pensiones. En estos momentos, donde el dinero está invertido, no está aumentando el dinero. So tenemos que tenemos que diversificar esos fondos, y por eso es que se tiene que tener la persona apropiada para que este dinero pueda crecer, porque si no, entonces no vamos a poder utilizar el dinero extra que tiene el Estado en estos diferentes servicios. Thank you so much. Okay, so how will you go about assuring that the Treasurer's Office invests more progressively? So, ¿cómo tú vas a asegurarte que la oficina de la tesorera pueda invertir progresivamente?
Great question, Norma.
Gran
It's one of the
pregunta.
reasons why I'm running, because for the last 4 years, I have been fighting big pharmaceuticals because they caused the opioid epidemic. And we lost our son 4 years ago to the opioid epidemic, very sadly. And I know so many families are suffering from that same loss. So to me, it's very important that we hold companies to a high standard of social responsibility, because companies are often the reason, when they're guided by greed, they cause too many problems for society. They're a bad investment for us.
Ok, ella dice que que la razón es que tenemos que pelear en contra las farmacéuticas grandes. Perdimos nuestro hijo 4 años atrás por causa de la opioide, la epidemia opioide. Entonces, muchas de las compañías están sufriendo, ¿ok? Um, y no están proveyendo la responsabilidad social por la cual tenemos que guiarnos. Y yo me aseguraré que eso suceda bajo mi administración. Thank you so much. I guess I have one last question that I'm going to be asking. And let me see which one it is. Okay. So tell me why voters should choose you as state treasurer, and what would be your first priority once you get elected.
So,
Dime por favor, ¿por qué es que los votantes deben de votar por ti y qué va a ser tu primera prioridad cuando tú seas electa?
Norma, I'm running because I know I have the ability to make the most impact on our state financially and socially because of my 25 years of experience in finance and my many years of experience in life. The most important thing to me is to create a better future for our children. I have 3 children myself. I love children. I want to leave a better place and a better future for them. And I worry about our children. I know I can make a difference. I know that your voters can count on me. So I need their support. Línea B on August 9th.
Ok. Yo tengo la habilidad financieramente y la experiencia. Yo quiero crear un futuro mejor para nuestros niños. Yo mismita tengo 3 hijos, ¿ok? Y yo sé que yo puedo hacer mejor el trabajo. Yo necesito el apoyo de ustedes. Así que en agosto 9, línea B. Thank you, Dita, so much for having been with us for today. I appreciate this interview. It's been really great. And the knowledge that our listeners are gaining because of this. And I wish you the best.
Muchas gracias. And it's so nice to be here. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Ok. Ella le da las gracias a todos ustedes por por estar escuchándonos a nosotros. No se olviden de votar línea B en agosto 9, desde las 6 de la mañana hasta las 8 de la noche. Dita Vargas para Tesorera del Estado de Connecticut. Muchas gracias. Bueno, nuevamente ustedes han estado escuchando a Norma Rodríguez-Reyes en el show K-PASA a través de WNHH 103.5 FM. Salud, dinero, amor y tiempo para disfrutarlo, y que vivamos 120 años en buena salud. Hasta la próxima. Health, money, and love, and plenty of time to enjoy it. And may we live to be 120 in good health. Till next time. Thank you. Gracias.
Adios.
Adios. Thank you.